All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Oluwademilade Oguntade, and I'm happy to host you, prospective students and prospective parents, in this admissions question and answer live stream. Thank you for coming online. I'd like to know where you're watching from, so you could just use the comment section to let us know that. Thank you. All right, so we'll be waiting for people to come in because clearly some of us are still getting things ready to attend.
Hello. Are you, hello. Are you interested in becoming a student at Pananatic University? Or have you been hearing about PAU and wondering what it's really all about? Don't stress anymore. We've got you covered. Join us on Saturday, the 14th of March at 11 a.m. as we go live on the PAU Instagram account, PAU_Nigeria. There, we'll be answering your frequently asked questions, breaking down things clearly, and sharing insights that you don't want to miss. It's going to be interactive, engaging, and absolutely worth your time. So set your reminders now, and we'll see you there. Hello. Hello. Are you interested in becoming a student at Pananatic University? Or have you been hearing about PAU and wondering what it's really all about? Don't stress anymore. We've got you covered. Join us on Saturday, the 14th of March at 11 a.m. as we go live on the PAU Instagram account, PAU_Nigeria. There, we'll be answering your frequently asked questions, breaking down things clearly, and sharing insights that you don't want to miss. It's going to be interactive, engaging, and absolutely worth your time. So set your reminders now, and we'll see you there. Hello. Are you interested in becoming a student at Pananatic University? Or have you been hearing about PAU and wondering what it's really all about? Don't stress anymore. We've got you covered. Join us on Saturday, the 14th of March at 11 a.m. as we go live on the PAU Instagram account, PAU_Nigeria. There, we'll be answering your frequently asked questions, breaking down things clearly, and sharing insights that you don't want to miss. It's going to be interactive, engaging, and absolutely worth your time. So set your reminders now, and we'll see you there. Hello. Are you interested in becoming a student at Pananatic University? Or have you been hearing about PAU and wondering what it's really all about? Don't stress anymore. We've got you covered. Join us on Saturday, the 14th of March at 11 a.m. as we go live on the PAU Instagram account, PAU_Nigeria. There, we'll be answering your frequently asked questions, breaking down things clearly, and sharing insights that you don't want to miss. It's going to be interactive, engaging, and absolutely worth your time. So set your reminders now, and we'll see you there.
Right, we are glad that you actually set your reminders and that you are here today. Once again, I'd like to thank you, prospective students and parents, for joining in on the live session today. Your questions, curiosity, and everything that you need to know about Pan Atlantic University and its admission process would be answered today. We are going to be having this live session for about an hour, and during this time, we're going to be having someone from the Marketing and Recruitment Office, Mr. David Olabi. This would be the opportunity for your questions to be answered. I've curated a couple of questions, or rather, a myriad of questions for you to work with. And this is something that I am excited about, and I hope that you're excited about it too. So, Mr. David, how are you doing this morning? I hope that your morning's off to a good start.
Hi, Oluwademilade. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. How are you doing as well as your Saturday
I'm
going?
doing well, thank you. Thank you. All right, so I still want to know where we're watching from. So if you could just put on the comment section where you're watching from, that would be a good thing. I can see you from Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. You're seen, and even those who are going to be watching the replay, you're definitely noticed. Now, my first question will come after I see my first comment. So please feel free to comment down below where you're watching from, if you are a prospective student or a prospective parent. Thank you. Right, watching from Lagos. Nice. Thank you, Didi. Um, I'm assuming that you're okay. I can't assume. You might be a parent and you might be a student, but knowing that at least we have comments. We have two comments actually, so I think we could start. This is permission to start. So I'd be starting off the very first question, and it's pretty common. Hopefully, you know this already, but Mr. Davis is going to be clarifying it. Where is Pan Atlantic University located?
Right. So Pan Atlantic University were located at Ibeju Lekki axis. That's kilometer 52, Lekki Ekpe Expressway, Ibeju Lekki. So in terms of proximity, you could say we're about 2 to 2.5 hours away from the Ikeja Airport. That's the Muritala Mohammed Airport. And then I would say maybe an hour or an hour 30
Right.
minutes from Lekki VI axis. So we're on the outskirts, close to towards Ekpe in Lagos.
All right. I have asked that question because I see that it's important to know how close it may be to people who are living in Lagos or people who are outside of Lagos and would be coming via the airport. So thank you for clarifying. Now, to the main gist of why exactly we'll be coming to school, which is the programs that are available in Pan Atlantic University for undergraduate students. So my question is, what are the programs that are available for undergraduate students coming into Pan Atlantic University?
Great. So at the moment, we have three schools for the undergraduate programs. We have the School of Science and Technology, and under that, we have the BSc in Computer Science. We have the BSc in Software Engineering. We're the first and only university with the BSc in Data Science at the moment. Then we have the Bachelors of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering, Electrical Electronics Engineering, and Mechatronics Engineering. Then in the School of Media and Communication, we have the BSc in Mass Communication, Film and Multimedia Studies, Strategic Communication, and a very good one, which is Information Science and Media Studies. Then in the School of Management and Social Sciences, we have four programs. We have the BSc in Finance, BSc in Accounting, Economics, and Business Administration. And all of these programs are accredited by NUC. And then there are perks to these different programs. For the School of Management and Social Sciences, for instance, students can get the ICANN certification, they can do ACCA, they can be a chartered accountant before they graduate, and then there's CFA as well for those in finance. So there are a lot of perks that comes with studying each of these programs at the university. Then for the engineering students, we have the current accreditation for all the programs as well. Then for the School of Media and Communication, just by the virtue of holding a certificate from that school for any of the programs, you would be inducted into the ACON body, which is the media and communication body in Nigeria. So yes, those are the courses we currently have on offer. I know a lot of people usually ask, okay, how about law? How about medicine? At the moment, we're focused on our strong points. So we try and ensure that we're able to deliver the quality we stand by in our mission. So at the moment, these are the courses we have. Maybe in the future, we would have some of these courses coming in as we move ahead.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. David, for that. I mean, I can't help but emphasize that the School of Media and Communication is where I am running my program as a mass communication student. And best believe I have not a single regret. Moving forward, I'm sure you want to know what exactly makes you eligible to even come into Pan Atlantic University in terms of academic requirements. And that's where my next question is going to be from. So, what are the academic requirements for coming to Pan Atlantic University? And I know that there are different pathways. So, we want to explore all pathways, the UTME pathway, the diploma or O level or A level pathway, and then transfer. So all expanding your answers across these pathways would do our audience much good.
So before I answer your question, Oluwademilade, very good question, by the way, because it's very important. I'd like to say I also have a soft spot for the School of Media and Communication because I'm actually bringing a perspective of not just a programs marketing and recruitment officer, but also someone that has also been a student in the past because I actually did my master's in media and communication at the Pan Atlantic University. So I'm able to bring a balance
Oh
of
wow.
both perspectives, right? So, but then as regards eligibility, so for the undergraduate programs, there are three routes or pathways to getting admissions into the Pan Atlantic University. So all of these routes require that you have your minimum 5 O-level credits necessary for the program you want to study. So there are three pathways: UTME pathway, that is JAM. Then there's direct entry for students that want to come in via A levels, and then there's inter-university transfer. So I would touch on each of these pathways really quickly. For the UTME, which is the JAM route for 100 level students. So if you're coming in via UTME, that means you're going to start from the first year. Currently, Pan Atlantic University has the highest JAM cutoff mark in Nigeria, which is 220. But the reality is a JAM score of 220 doesn't necessarily get you an admission into the university. Why do I say that? We are a small university. We prioritize quality over quantity, and then we have a small class size. So typically for the School of Science and Technology, we would not take more than 57 students for each of the courses we offer. And then for the other schools, that's the School of Media and Communication and the School of Management and Social Sciences, we would take 63 students. So imagine a scenario where you have roughly 300 to 500 people applying for each course. So whilst they might be eligible as regards meeting the minimum benchmark of 220 in JAM, the reality we would have to prioritize and benchmark the highest ranking applicants. So 220 is the cutoff mark, but then I would advise that anyone really looking forward to coming into Pan Atlantic University must be aiming for 280, 300 and above in JAM, right? Yeah, so the benchmark is really high. So for the direct entry routes, so there are different pathways via direct entry. So you could have the Cambridge A levels, you could have the IB, that's International Baccalaureate, you could have the Pearson Edesel program or the Advanced Placement program. So either of these programs, you need a minimum of 9 points. So for the A level students, that means that you must have a minimum of C grades in your A levels. So typically they write three A level subjects in the Cambridge A levels. So you need a minimum of C grades. But like I said, the competitive nature of getting admissions into the university requires that you don't aim for a minimum of C grades. So for instance, there's a combination of factors that determine whether you would even be able to get in via direct entry. So if there's no space for the course you want to come into, that would be a challenge. Then if there are a lot of applicants for the program you're applying for, naturally there will be a benchmark of the best grades. So if you're aiming for minimum of C grades and other applicants have A's and B's, then you should understand that there will be priority for those candidates with higher grades in their A levels. Then we also take students via inter-university transfer. So at the moment, a minimum eligibility is actually 3.5. If you go through our website and all the details we have, you need a minimum CGP of 3.5. And any students looking to transfer can only start from the second year. But like I said, again, 3.5 is eligibility, but to stand a chance via inter-university transfer, you must be aiming for nothing less than 4.5 and above. So I think those are the three pathways. But like I said, all of these pathways require that you also have O levels. So we accept IGCSE, we accept WAEC, we accept NECO, we accept GC, and we accept NAPTEB. So that means those pathways require that you have a minimum of credits in your O level subject, depending on the course you're applying for. So if you're a science student, for instance, that means English, math, physics, chemistry, biology, and then maybe further maths and technical drawing are added advantages for those that are going into engineering. Then for the School of Media and Communication, English, math, Christian religious studies, government, and literature are typically the five subjects you would use to get into that program. And then for the School of Management and Social Sciences, English, math, economics, financial accounting, commerce are typical subjects you will use to get in. So UTME, direct entry, and inter-university transfer alongside your O levels, your five minimum credits. I think those are the main pathways for undergraduate admissions into the university.
Right. You cleared it all. Thank you so much. I have a couple of questions, thinking that I would be mirroring some of the thoughts of our audience. Number
Okay.
one, I know that there are some people who don't do the regular WASSE route, and some of them do like the American exam. I actually have a friend who did that. So for people like that who do American exams at the end of their secondary school experience, what do they need to do to sort of just like qualify for entering into Pan-Atlantic University, since their grades are not exactly graded based off WAEC, IGCSE, or O levels or NECO?
That's a very good question, Oluwademilade. So, for those people, first of all, let me clarify that there are certain certificates Pan Atlantic University does not recognize. So, if you're looking to come in via OSSD, that's the Ontario National Diploma for people going or had initially planned to study in Canada, we don't accept that. We don't accept JUPEB as well. And so typically, what we do is, depending on the certificate you're coming with, we will do an evaluation of that certificate to the Nigerian standard to see if this meets our requirements. So, regardless of the
Right.
country you're studying or you have studied or did your high school, we will definitely just do a conversion to the Nigerian standard to see if this meets our own requirements, and then we'll advise you on the next steps. Then, another thing I should touch on is for those that are looking to probably come in via the second year, that's the direct entry route. So typically, most of them probably enroll for the A level program August, September of every admission year, and then they usually write the exams in May, June. So usually their results will not be out until 10th of August. I think that's usually the standard around the second week of August.
Yes, August
So
period,
if
yes.
the implication of that is they don't usually have a direct entry. You were a Nigerian university, were benchmarked by NUC. So there are certain requirements that students need to go through. PAU only provides a provisional admission, but it's actually NUC and JAM that provides the general admission letters that every student in Nigeria would have. So for direct entry students going through that route that are expecting their A-level result in August, they won't be able to buy a JAM direct entry form because JAM will not sell that form to them. So what they then do, or what we advise them
If
to
they
do,
don't have
which is, yes, if they don't have it, is to buy the JAM form, which can then be upgraded to direct entry when their results are out. So and at the end of the day, it's like you have two options or two pathways to select from. So when you get the JAM form, you can write the JAM exam, and then whilst you're expecting your A-level results, you have more or less two pathways to try and consider, because you don't want to fix all your eggs in the A-level basket, and by adventure you don't meet the requirements, you have something to fall back to. So I think that answers the question.
Right, thank you very much. And to add to what he just said, I'd say that if you want to come in by direct entry, you have to be super sure, because with the jam board, you cannot change back to the first year regular routes after deciding to be a direct entry student. You actually have to go forth with your direct entry. That happened to me. So I just thought to let you know, just so you don't make the mistake. You have to make sure and be very certain of what pathway you want to use to come into school. And of course, what program you'd like to major in. Right. So I think that answers the questions about undergraduates. So for master's students, because we have graduate programs and professional programs as well in Pan Atlantic University, what are the options for graduate programs in this school?
Thank you for that question. So before I answer that, I'd like to give a breakdown of how PAUAB functions. So there's different schools. I already touched on the School of Media and Communication, School of Science and Technology,
Right.
School of Management and Social
Mm-hmm.
Sciences. Then we have our sister schools
Right.
as well, the Lagos Business School, and then the Enterprise Development Center. So all of these different units offer different programs that professionals can subscribe to. Then we also have the Institute of Humanities, by the way. So for the master's programs at the moment on the main campus, which is where we are at the moment, we have a number of master's programs. So in the School of Science and Technology, we have the Masters in Data Science. In the School of Media and Communication, we have two master's programs, which is the Masters in Media and Communication, which is a favorite of mine. And then we also have the Masters in Film Production. Then in the School of Management and Social Sciences, we have the Masters in Finance, we have the Masters in Economics, and we also have the MBA program at the Lagos Business School. We also have the Masters in Management at the Lagos Business School. So those are the current
Mm-hmm.
programs offered at the master's level, and the pathways are different for each of these programs. So some of them require that you have a minimum work experience of maybe 3 to 5 years. Some of them require that you must have done your NYSC before you can jump into that. Some of them you can literally just jump into them immediately after you finish from the university. So it depends. There are different pathways for each of these programs. But then the benchmark that cuts across each of them requires that you do not have lower than a second class lower in your class or degree. So that's a minimum of a 2-2 makes you eligible to apply for any of these programs. If you have a third class, most likely you would have to do a PGD or an MPhil, depending on the program you're applying for, to be able to gain an admission into that. So, and the application process is very seamless. We have our application portal, apply.pau.edu.ng, for prospective students to go on to apply. And the guidelines are there, very seamless and easy for you to go through. So we usually typically demand your O-level results, your degree certificates, two referee forms, one academic and one professional, and then that helps you start the application process. And the application fee for the master's programs is actually 10,000 naira. So it's something that you can easily start with and get on that. I think I've made an attempt to more or less touch on the master's programs. If there's anything in the questions, comments, please just let me know so that there's anything I can address as well as we move forward.
Most
Thank you.
definitely. Thank you so much, Mr. David. I think you're giving us the details that we need in the admission process. I am an aspiring master student. I plan to do the whole process. So I mean, when the time is right, I will be asking these questions and going forth with them too. Right. So someone says, please discuss the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship, the criteria, and how to get it. Thank you. Of course, we have that plan for you. But since this is um, it's done in a particular order just to make sure that we have clarity of thoughts and logical flow, we will definitely get to that. Thank you so much. Stay with us till the very end. So, next question is that can intending students tour the campus? Is it subject to prior notice by letter or email? And yes, can intending students tour the campus?
Yes, definitely. We are open to all persons, parents, prospective students. We even have a lot of secondary schools coming on tours of the facilities here. We welcome that. We encourage that at the recruitment and marketing office. So, yes, we're open to receiving parents and prospective students, usually between Mondays and Fridays, between 9 and 4 p.m. So, you could call us prior to your coming over, and you could literally just walk in as well, and we'll be more than willing to attend to you and show you around the facilities.
Right. Thank you. I just also thought to ask that question just for curiosity. Um, this is something I'd also like to address just before we move into other things. I should have pointed it out earlier, but are there any post UTME examinations facilitated by the school?
Very good question. So in previous years, we usually have essays and oral interviews. So, but then in the last couple of years, we changed that to strictly oral interviews. But then we thought about it. Management decided, okay, these prospective applicants have been saddled with a number of qualifying examinations already. Some of them do GCE, IGCSE, SATs, O levels, WAEC, and JAM. So we felt, okay, in the last year we only used the UTME exams as benchmarks for admissions process. But then we are also thinking inwards to see, okay, what else can we do to help with this recruitment process? So definitely, if there's any changes, at the moment we're strictly using the JAM, that's the UTME results, as benchmarks. But then if there's any change or any planned changes, that we would definitely communicate that. It will be on the website and on our different social media platforms on what the prospective plans would be.
All right then. Thank you. Because that's something that's popular in other universities across Nigeria. So particularly we have to spell that out, that there is no post UTME. But we obviously, the management has processes that they go through to make sure that they pick the students that are eligible, of course by merit.
Definitely.
And yes, so I still see some comments, right? Can students live off campus since the school is in the outskirts of Lagos? Are there any rentals close by? I'd love to get to this. We're going to student life in a bit, so that's one of the sections of the questions that we'll be asking, so, or rather addressing. So thank you so much. Please stay with us to the very end so that you can get the answers to your questions. For the audience who have been encouraging us, well done guys. Yes, great job. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. So the next thing that we would like to discuss here is whether or not we have scholarship opportunities in Pan Atlantic University, and whether these scholarships are available to undergraduate students and master students. What are these scholarships like in plain terms?
Great question. I know a lot of prospective applicants usually look forward to this part of the conversations we have. So yes, there are a number of scholarship opportunities on offer at the university. So we have the PAU scholarship. So the PAU scholarship is typically for indigent citizens. It's a financial based scholarship, it's a need based scholarship. So usually students that we are certain can't afford the tuition we offer at the university are those that typically apply for this. So we're looking, it's also a kind of CSR by the university to help the community in which we are. So the Bejileki community, for instance, a lot of people within these axes can't afford the tuition, so they are able to apply, but then they are also very intelligent applicants. So it's a combination of the need as well as your ability to show that you merit the scholarship. So it's strictly a need-based scholarship. And for the PAU scholarship, you could, depending on the need and the level of need, because you would have to apply for it. So the application for the scholarship is separate for application for admission. So for a prospective student that is looking to apply for the PAU scholarship, you must have applied for admission and gone through that process while you're processing the scholarship application simultaneously. So when you do apply, you would be invited for, if you are eligible based on the strength of the application you put in, you will be invited for a virtual interview with your family, that's your parents, to defend why you think you deserve or need the scholarship. And deserving applicants can gain as much as a 25% scholarship, 50% scholarship, or 75% scholarship, or 98% scholarship. So, but then this scholarship is strictly on tuition. So prospective scholarships, people that get this scholarship, they would have to then sort out for accommodation off campus, because the accommodation on campus is a bit on the high side as well. So typically PAU scholarship students usually then live maybe within the community, maybe about 5-10 minutes away from campus. So that's the PAU scholarship. Then we also have, very interestingly, the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship Program. So this MasterCard Foundation Scholarship Program actually kickstarted last year, 2025. And that's something I am very much involved in the recruitment process. So the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship is a scholarship run or offered by the Mastercard Foundation in partnership with Pan Atlantic University. And the focus of this scholarship is to help the underserved communities, is to make impact for to create a story. We want to tell a story of people that are unable to, they have no hope of getting tertiary education, even federal university, they probably can't even afford to go there. So we want to tell a story, we want to make impact, and this scholarship is going to focus on 70% of them will be girls in STEM programs, 25% of them will be people from displaced communities, and then 10% of them will be people with physical disability. So this scholarship is a full all-inclusive scholarship. So it covers tuition, it covers accommodation, it covers living expenses, it covers all the necessary materials you will need to thrive as a student at the Pan Atlantic University. So I know a lot of people are applying and looking forward to that. But then if you're certain you don't fit any of these criteria, just apply for the PAU scholarship because it's a very, very strict process we go through. The recruitment process is very deliberate and strategic, such that we have people we're working with, organizations we're working with to sort of recruit these people because we are certain they meet the requirements as regards girls in STEM program from underserved communities, people with disability, as well as
Right.
refugees and people from displaced communities. So those are the two main scholarship programs we have at the university. But recently, last year, there's this one we came across as well, which is the Presidential Amnesty Scholarship. So it's run by the federal government for scholar. It's a scholarship that provides access to education, tertiary education, and at the master's level for students from the Niger Delta. So you would have to look forward to that. You have to make your research on the PAP scholarship program to see if you qualify and then apply for it. So those are the main scholarship opportunities we have currently at the Pan Atlantic University.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. David. Owing to the network, I kind of lost you for a bit, but I'm sure that the audience heard you. Well, I'm hoping that they did. So, I have some questions about or rather, clarification. So, Pan Atlantic University offers mainly need-based scholarships, and this is shown in the scholarship um, done by the school, and then Mastercard Foundation scholarship as well. Correct?
Yes. So, like I said earlier, the PAU scholarship is a need-based scholarship, while the Mastercard Foundation scholarship is entirely different. It's an entire program that scholarship program that covers everything that a student would typically need at the university.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. I can see that we have people joining us from Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I acknowledge everyone here. And I'm definitely looking forward to taking your questions. We are looking forward to taking your questions. I'll be your question taker, and Mr. David will be answering the questions. So I see some questions here about the scholarships. This person says, Motorio says, can I apply for the two scholarships?
That's a good question. So, if you heard me correctly, I would say depending on what you think you qualify for. So, if you're a student that you're sure your parents aren't able to afford the tuition, then you can apply for the PA scholarship. But then if you think you're from a less privileged background, you're maybe based in the north or different parts of the country where there's maybe some form of levels of insecurity, or you've been displaced, maybe you're a refugee or something, or you're someone with some kind of disability, then you can probably apply for the Mastercard Foundation scholarship as well. But like I said, the PAE scholarship is more a need-based scholarship, while the Mastercard Foundation scholarships focus on certain variables that you must meet before you can then be considered for that scholarship.
Right. Thank you very much. So I think that question goes answered. Therefore, we can just move on to the other questions about student life. I mean, while speaking about the scholarships, you mentioned how the scholarship by the university is actually just based on tuition. But Mastercard Foundation, is it based on tuition as well? Just tuition? Because we have accommodation, daily student activities where you have to possibly be part of student associations, get food and all of that. Is that also covered?
Great question. So let me also clarify before I answer that regardless of the scholarship program you're applying for at the university, you would only be able to start from the first year. So we're not offering scholarships to students coming in via direct entry or inter-university transfer. It's strictly for applicants coming in via UTME, that's JAM. And then yes, like I said before now, the PAU scholarship only covers tuition. It doesn't cover accommodation or feeding or your living expenses. However, the MasterCard Foundation scholarship, it's all inclusive. It covers everything you need. So there's accommodation, there's the tuition, there's accommodation, your living expenses, you're giving extra funds to be able to thrive. For feeding, you're giving all the necessary things. So food is not going to be your problem. All the gadgets you need to thrive, you're giving a brand new laptop to be able to work in school. So not just that, the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship is a very unique program that helps. So it's not just helping you with getting into the university. We're actually very focused on that transition as well. So we're unholding you from the process of coming into the university, ensuring you thrive and do extremely well, be able to tell your story, an impactful story, and then helping you in that transition into getting meaningful work after you graduate. So all the other perks every pre-AU student enjoys, MasterCard Foundation Scholarship student also enjoy the mentoring program, the entrepreneurship program. They are all the careers and internship programs that we have. They are all eligible to it. They actually even start their own compulsory internships from the first year. So it's very unique and very encouraging for anybody that thinks they meet the requirements for that scholarship.
Right. Thank you, and thank you again. So we have answered the question about whether the the scholarship provisions go beyond tuition. And yes, it's true. For MasterCard Foundation, it does, while for the other, it doesn't. So that means addressing things about accommodation in relation to student life, accommodation. What is the accommodation like? Proximity, pricing, and availability as well.
Fantastic question. This is, I know a lot of parents are probably um, curious about this. So, yes, we have accommodation on campus. At the moment, we have, I think, about six, I believe we have six female hostels, more are in the works. We have six male hostels as well, more are also in the works. We already have, there's a management plan to get as much as 3 to 6 new hostels in the next 18 and 24 months. So, yes, we have accommodation on campus, and depending on the kind of accommodation you seek, you could be looking forward to a one-man room, a two-man room, three, four, 5-man room. So your pockets would help you, will speak for you really, because if you're going for a one-man room, you're paying the highest possible naira compared with someone that is going for a 4 or 5-man room. So there are different hostels, and then they also have different perks and different facilities that we encourage parents and prospective students to actually come and see for themselves before they make an informed decision. So come around,
Right.
come and do a tour, come
Yes.
and visit the hostel, see what the facilities are like, and then make a decision based on what you've seen. So yes, but as regards cost, you're going to be looking at a range of around 1.82 million to about 3.5 million, depending on the kind of accommodation you're looking forward to on campus. So, with tuition and accommodation, I would say typically parents have to plan an outlay of around 10 million naira per year to get the quality education we have at the university. So, then also, not all students live on campus. So there are people that live not too far off from school, so they can come from home. There are students that don't even want to live on campus, so they rent houses within the community, not too far away from us, and then they're able to get what they desire as regards accommodation. So yes, but a majority of students actually live on campus. I would say roughly 95% of students live on campus, while a lot of other students come from home. And then, like I said earlier as well, the scholarship students, they can't afford the accommodation on campus, so they typically stay not too far away from campus. I hope I touched on.
Great. Thank you very much. Yes, you did. As everything regarding accommodation has been touched on, we have accommodation options in Pan Atlantic University on campus, and this is the Ibejuleki campus, of course, not the Lekki Eja campus. So that answers the question about accommodation, and there are other things about student life that I know that prospective students, especially, would want to know about. It's concerning clubs and activities, associations present in schools. I see that a comment addresses that actually. What are the career-based societies currently exist in PAU? Okay, so I think that actually goes to under the advantages, perks, and just niceties of being part of the Paradat University community. But right now, I'd like you to answer the question about student activities, clubs, and societies available here at Pan Atlantic University.
Thank you for that question. So, yes, we're not just focused on academics and just reading to pass your exams and all of that. We are actually looking to build competent and committed professionals at the university, and that requires that they get a wholesome education. So it's not just about the experiential learning they have in class and the practical sessions they have in different programs. We also want them to be of high moral standards. We also want them to be able to think about the future and the betterment of Nigeria and Africa at large, right? So, yes, there are different activities on campus, extracurricular activities. There are sporting events that take place every year. Currently, the Coupe de Escriva, that's the basketball, volleyball, football, and I think there's tennis as well. Tournaments are currently ongoing. So I happen to be a part of the football tournament as well because some quota is also put left for staff so they can participate in some of these tournaments as well. So yes, students are encouraged to participate in all of these sporting activities. We actually have our own internal competition, and other times there are students that also um, go outside. They have football teams, basketball teams. They also have inter-university competition. So sometimes we host these universities, and other times we actually go to these universities to participate in tournaments with sometimes we win, other times we don't. But then yes, it's also very encouraging for students to interact across universities and then get an idea of how education is and how their lifestyle is as well. Yes, but then also we have different clubs at the university. We have roughly, I would say maybe between 10 to 15 different clubs. Students are also encouraged to start clubs on campus, but they have to work with the student affairs office to pitch the idea of the club they want to start. So there's the drama club, for instance, for those that are passionate about arts and acting for stage and television. There's the investment literacy club that helps to promote financial literacy and creating awareness about different pathways to investing and the likes. Then there's the tech innovation club as well. So for those of you that are AI or tech savvy people that are looking to get across the plane. Yeah, so you can join the Tech Innovation Club. Then there's the Living Green Club as well for those that want to keep the environment clean as well. The integrity of the environment is important at the moment. So some people join the Living Green Club.
Sustainability.
Yes, so there's the Euphoria Danceathon Club as well. So I know a lot of people follow us on social media. So if you check our YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram pages, you will see some of these events. Sometimes they dance around, and then some of these things are published on our social media platform. So if you're good with dancing and entertainment, you can join Euphoria. Then there's a public speaking club as well. So for those of you that are curious about leveraging your communication skills, you want to be able to pitch to an audience, you want to be able to sell yourself as a brand or the institution or whoever you're working with, you could join the public speaking club. Then there's the arts club as well. There's the film club for those of you that want to aspire to be filmmakers or you want to watch films and then discuss and narrate what the context of those films were. Then there's the Dignity Hub Club. There's the entrepreneurship rather. There's the entrepreneurship club as well. So if you have a business idea, you want to see whether this business idea makes sense, you can join the entrepreneurship club to discuss how you can get funding for your business idea. Then there's the book club as well for those of you that are avid readers that want to read and then cultivate an art of or habit of or are bookworms. You can join the book club as well. So there are various other clubs. There's the Model UN Club. I think those are the ones I can remember for now. So yeah, but like I said, students are also encouraged to create or start clubs, but then they will have to work with the student affairs office to be able to do that. Thank you.
I really hope that answered the question from Bengi. So really, the question is about professional societies, and to add to what Ms. David has already said, I'd like that there's the Bachelor Society, Mass Communications Students Society. There's also the society. Societies are pretty in the as well. So the idea is not just to have societies that just exist within school. One thing I can pride myself in concerning my school is how industry relevant the activities we involve ourselves in are. So I would definitely assure you that these professional societies and career thing already and definitely waiting for you to leverage their opportunities. Moving forward, there are questions about when the undergraduate applications begin. So you could just quickly answer that as well as answer that. Are the scholarship based on UTME results? So those two questions, whether when the admission process is starting, when they can start to apply the undergraduate applications, when do they begin, and also whether this scholarship is actually based on results.
Great question. So yes, application process typically for the undergraduate students starts after the release of the JAM results. So JAM is going to take place in April, and I believe the results will be out. I think first second week of May. So JAM results is your eligibility criteria. So if you have a minimum eligibility, then you're eligible to apply. So once your JAM results are out, irrespective of your O level results, regardless of whether your O level results apply immediately. So you go on the portal, apply.pau.edu.ng. I also am aware that that period is where a lot of these prospective applicants are writing their O levels. That's their WAEC in May, June. But the application is online. It's an online application. So even while you're in school, I would encourage you to make sure you apply immediately or get your parents to make this application on your behalf because the timeline is very, very soon. The earlier you apply, the better you can start in time to gain an admission. And yes, scholarship is not just the criteria for scholarship is not just your UTME. Your UTME is the first criteria because eligibility is important, but then there are other perks, there are other criteria we look at the strength of your O level results, the strength of the scholarship application itself, the kind of evidence and recommendations you have to support your scholarship application. All of that would be considered, as well as the interview that will take place if you're considered for the scholarship. Another thing I should mention that I didn't touch on earlier is engagement. So prospective applicants for UTME, for coming in via 100 level, you must be 16 as at the 30th of admission year. So if you're not going to be 16 by August, by the end of August this year, then you won't be able to apply. So you must be 16 by the last day of August to be able to apply, to be able to get into the Atlantic University. Thank you.
Okay, so I didn't quite hear the last thing you said. I don't know if it'll be okay for you to just repeat what you said about August and the slim deadlines because from my end the connection was not too clear. So I just want to clarify that.
Okay, not a problem. So I said that the age requirement is 16. So prospective applicants that are coming in via the first year must be 16 by the last day of August to be able to apply to PA, to be able to come into PA. If you're not going to be 16, then we won't be considering your application.
Okay, great. So that has to do with age requirements. Another thing that people may overlook in applying is also sometimes they're not sure about when exactly we're resuming. We recently changed the school calendar, and while you can find it on the website, I'd like you to also share with us when exactly we're resuming so that people can plan their vacations and all of that regarding their admission.
Thank you for that, Oluwatemilade. So yes, before this year, typically resumption is usually around the last week of September or first week of October. But because we've changed the academic calendar to certain things, so we're looking to start exchange programs this year. We're starting exchange programs this year, cultural exchanges for a start. So we needed to sort of ensure that it works with global standards. So we're also going to be exposing our students to internship opportunities, not just in Nigeria, but outside of the country. So we wanted to ensure that the time for doing this internship, we ensure that there won't be any backdrops or effects for students that will be embarking on this scholarship, and I mean this internship and exchange program. So at the moment this year, we're going to be resuming in the third week of August. That communication will be on the website. Will also be on the admission letters for prospective admitted students. So we're going to be resuming in the third week of August.
Right, thank you. That gives us clarity on when result here that I would like to address before even going back to our prepared questions. This person actually says, what is the possibility of winning the Mastercard scholarship if I do not fall under the three categories mentioned, but I know counting?
Right. So if I heard correctly, the person is asking if they do not meet the certain criteria that I mentioned, what's the possibility of them getting the scholarship? So I would say apply. We'll look at the strength of your application, but then I would rather advise such applicants to go for the PAU scholarship, because if it's strictly financial assistance you're looking for, then I think the PAU scholarship is what you should apply for, not the Mastercard Foundation scholarship program. But then, like I said, look at the yardsticks and then see if you think you would qualify or you meet certain benchmarks. Like I said, if we're providing the scholarship is for underserved people from underserved communities. So if you're certain that there's no hope of education for you, you're also someone, a girl child interested in STEM programs, someone that is from a displaced community, or somebody with some kind of disability, especially people with physical disability. We're focusing on people with physical disability at this time. Then we'll open it up to people with hearing and visual impairments in about 2 or 3 years' time.
All right, thank you, Mr. David. So moving forward, we have this next question about the and whether it's available and flexible for those who are working and do not want to jobs. I hope that question isn't too bad because it's right now beyond my control. Can you hear me? And can
I
you
think
also
I'm
see the question?
with you. I think I'm with you. Yes. So for the master's programs, it's a full-time program, but it's a hybrid mode of delivery. What do I mean by that? So if you have a job, you can then combine work and school. So typically, most of these master's programs, you have lectures on Saturdays online. So 3 Saturdays in a month, you have lectures, and then once every 2 months. So a semester typically is 4 months. So twice a semester, you're required to come physically to campus for lectures between Monday and Friday. So such prospective master students can then, because the calendar is sent ahead of time, so you can plan your leave days across the times when you're required to be physically present on campus. So yes, It's online Saturdays, and then twice in a semester you come on campus physically for lecture. So yes, you can. It's a bit tedious, I would say, because I think when I did my masters as well, it was a challenge because you have such time deadlines, deliverables, work wise, and then school. So it's I would say you need to be mentally ready for that. You need to be disciplined. You need to ensure that you have management skills to be able to combine work and school because the program is challenging, but it's also very interesting and enriching, I would say.
Okay, that's clear. Moving further, this is also about the MBA. Um, if you can hear me, I'm actually asking about the MBA. What is it like? Is there any scholarship opportunities available? Is there any scholarship opportunity available for MBA? Right. This is the question. Good morning. Thank you for this session. I'd like to ask if there are scholarships for MBA programs in PA.
Could you take that again, Oluwademilade? I think I lost you there. Hi, Oluwademilade. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. What was the question you asked?
Okay, the next opportunity. So the question is about scholarships for the MBA programs.
Oh, no, no, no. There are no scholarships at the moment. But then if you have someone that wants to fund you, then by all means, if you have your organization is looking to fund you, or maybe you have a state scholarship you can enroll for, definitely. But at the moment, the scholarships we have on campus are strictly for undergraduate students, first year students.
All right. Thank you very much for clarifying. This is still on scholarships. Can I apply for a scholarship after I have been admitted?
Good. So, like I said earlier, it's something you do concurrently. So, the first thing you do after your JAM result comes out is apply for admission. So, that's around the second week of May. You apply for admission, and then the scholarship will be open. The PAU scholarship will be open, I think, in the first week of June. So, after you apply for the admission, then you apply for scholarship in the first week of June. But the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship Program, the interest form is already open. So people that think they qualify or meet the criteria for the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship Program can already fill the interest form. And then when their result is out in May as well, then they can then apply for the application, the scholarship application. They can apply for the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship Program in May as well. Separate application for admission and then for the PAU scholarship and then the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship. I hope I answered that well. Are you with me, Demilade? Oh, I think network has thrown her off. Let me also see if I can look through the comments.
I'd like to know if you can hear me. I'm still having some network
No, 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 I can hear you.
connectivity issues. Please bear with me. Pardon me. Um, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. I hope that you've answered the question about scholarships after being admitted.
I did.
Okay, great. So, this person is also asking about the minimum jump score to be considered for the scholarship, since one of the criteria is based on UTME. I think that has already been addressed. 220, but aim for 280, 300 above is the scholarship. But I'd give Mr. David to give us more clarity on that if needed.
You. I think you're a good listener, so I think you already addressed the question yourself.
Great. Okay, so can you apply for a scholarship after being admitted, that has already been addressed. Where is Pan Atlantic University located? That has also already been addressed. But for the sake of those who came much later in the session, it's kilometer 52, Ibejuleki. I'm correct. But I think Mr. David should give more details of the actual place in case I'm wrong. But
So
he should be
yes,
correct. Though.
we are located at kilometer 52, Lekki Epe Expressway, Ibeju Lekki, Lagos, Nigeria. And like I said earlier as
Right.
well, we are about 2 to 2.5 hours from the Muritala Mohammed Airport. And for those coming from the Lekki VI axis, depending on whether you're using the coastal road or the Lekki Epe Expressway, you're looking at between an hour 30 minutes on a good day to get to our location. That's the
Okay.
main campus. So
Right.
we have the Lagos, the Aja campus as well. That's the Lekki campus. That's about maybe 30 minutes from VI. But then the main campus is at kilometer 52 Lekki Ekpe Expressway.
All right, thank you very much. So, this other question is around the undergraduate limits. So, I think you already mentioned that for a particular course, but just for clarity on other courses, does PAU have a maximum number of undergraduates admitted per session?
Yes. So, like I said, for the School of Science and Technology, for those that are coming in for computer science, software engineering, data science, mechanical engineering, mechatronics engineering, or electrical electronics engineering, the maximum we will take for each of these courses per class is 57. So if we have 200 people applying for those courses, we're going to take 57, the best 57, more or less. And then for the School of Management and Social Sciences and the School of Media and Communication, our class size is 63. So that already gives you an idea of how competitive it is to get into the university.
All right, thank you. Um, I would like to confirm that you have finished responding to that question.
Yes, I have.
I'd like to confirm that you're done answering that question, Mr. David.
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you. So, third week of August as the resumption date, is it for both the new students and the existing students?
Oh, no, no, no. The third week of August is strictly for the new students. So if you're coming in via 100 level or direct entry as a new student, then you're going to resume on that day. I think usually a week after new students resume, other students then come in to campus.
All right, thank you. More questions. Is PAU partnered with ACCA recently? What are the benefits, or how do undergraduates benefit from that?
Very good question. So, like I said, there are different perks to studying different programs at the university. So for those students in the School of Management and Social Sciences, for accounting, business administration, finance, or economics, there are different certifications you can subscribe to. So there's ICANN certifications. So some of our students, they even get chartered even before they graduate. By the time they're in their third or fourth year, they're already chartered. Then there's the CFA for those in finance, and then there's ACCA as well for accounting students as well and business administration. So yes, we
All right,
encourage
thank
our students to embark on this. So and the reality is because of the partnerships we have and the fact that our curriculum is built in line with some of these certificates, some of these institutions offering these certificates, our students get exemptions either in the last phase of the exams or during the process of getting these certifications. So yes, you have some exemptions by virtue of being a PAU student and going through the ACCA or ICANN classes at the university.
All right. Thank you. I think this gives clarity on the ACA benefits and also gives a sneak peek on what exactly you should look forward to as perks in each course. because I believe that there are other industry partnerships, even other courses. But this is something that we may overlook as prospective students, or that you may overlook as prospective students or prospective parents. But there is such a thing as admission scams. And to prevent that, today is going to be addressing us on what exactly PAU wouldn't do during the admission process, and what you should look out for from PAU during the admission process, just so that you can differentiate from scams and the true institution. So I leave him to address us on that.
That's such a solid question, Oluwademilade, and it's very unfortunate that almost every year, even with the kind of mechanisms we put in place to limit some of these things, we still have certain people reaching out to us that they've been scammed or been swindled off some X amount of money. So, yes, what I would say is the first thing you should do as a prospective parent or student is when you're doing your research, ensure that every information you're getting is directly from the university website. Our website is www.pau.edu.ng. Every information you need is on that website. Don't do a random Google search that says Pan Atlantic University. There are different options of things you do. Even though we're working extremely hard with our SEO to ensure that we're getting top results from the searches that links us directly to the website, there are still some of these very, very intelligent hackers that find a way to put a lot of things online that will mislead you. So one of the first things I would say you do is ensure every information you're getting is directly from the website. That's the first thing you have to do. If you have the chance and the opportunity, I would then encourage you to come physically to campus to speak to us at the recruitment and admissions office. So it's very important that you don't speak to an outsider. You don't talk to one doctor, one professor that tells you they work with Pan Atlantic University and they ask you to pay a sum of money into a personal account. One other thing you should never do is never, ever, ever pay into a personal account. They will tell you the application fee is paid into someone's account. Pan Atlantic University does not collect funds via personal account. It has never happened and it will never happen. So please do not make any payments into people's personal accounts, regardless of how convincing they sound. There are certain programs we also don't offer at the university. So we don't do JUPEB programs. So don't be swindled or convinced that there's nursing JUPEB or medicine JUPEB or pharmacy JUPEB at the university. We don't offer JUPEB programs. So anybody that tells you that, it's misleading you. The person is misleading you. So please ensure that every information you're looking out for is directly from the website. Our contact information are on the website. Our email address, that's the admissions at pa.edu.ng, is also on the website. Our phone numbers, which will be displayed in the chat box, is also there for you to reach out to us directly. So please do not pay or send funds direct to anybody or into anybody's personal account. Come physically to campus if you have the opportunity. We welcome you to do that. Come and see the facilities yourself. Come and interact with the people that would help you with the admissions process. And I'm sure everything will be okay if you go through all of this. Thank you.
Thank you. That clarifies it, because it will not be to anyone's joy that you are scammed as a prospective or intending student. Please make sure that you go through the correct routes, websites, stay connected on our social media as well. You'd usually be able to tell whether it's PAU's social media or not. I mean, media literacy is one of the things that is really hammered on even in the university. So please pay attention to the kind of website that you take your information from. Moving forward, I know that there's still some questions, and while we've already exceeded the 1 hour limit, because we're committed to answering your questions and giving you the best of the best, we would still take a few questions before we round up. So these questions are from Instagram, apparently. And okay, so someone is asking for our courses to be listed. We already said the courses that are available. But in case you weren't here, I would direct you to the Pan Atlantic University website. Am I correct, Mr. David?
Yes, the website, our email address is also there. You can send us an email, admissions@pau.edu.ng. You can also reach out to me directly on via call. My phone number is
Admissions at
01
pau.edu.ng.
5427.
Okay. So, concerning the courses, I mean, we've already said that the School of Media and Communications, there's the Lagos Business School, IOH, School of Science and Technology, School of Management Science and Social Sciences. So there should be clarity on the courses. When you go to the websites, there are toggles that you can press just to find out the exact courses that we have, and also for you to go through each course and what exactly PAU offers, its quality, what distinguishes it from other university programs or other programs taken in other universities. So you'd find the nitty-gritty of the information right on the website. So we can only give but limited information now, considering the time that we have spent here already. Um, if you are a 100 level student in another university, can you apply for inter-university transfer to the same course in PAU in the same level?
Okay, so for inter-university transfer applicants, like I said, you can only transfer into the second year. So if you've completed 100 level in another university and you want to apply to PAU, you would be able to transfer into the same course or something similar to what you're currently studying at your university here at Pan Atlantic University. And like I said, the minimum benchmark is 3.5, but the reality is you need to have a minimum of a 4.5 to stand a high chance of coming into the university. So if you've also completed your first year and your second year in your current university and you want to come to PAU, you would also be able to apply, but then you would have to start from your second year. So you're still going to start or repeat 200 level at the Pan Atlantic University. I hope that
All
addresses
right.
that question.
I hope it does address the question. Thank you. So clarity, you cannot transfer from another university in 100 level. That's it. And then for academic requirements to maintain the scholarship. So this person is assuming that the scholarship has already been secured. Now to continue as a scholarship student, what do I need to do in terms of academic requirements?
Very, very, very good question. So, yes, generally for PAU, we require that our students are not on a GPA or CGPA rather lower than 1.5. So if after your first semester in the university, your GPA is below 1.5, you're placed on an academic probation to ensure that you're able to come out and do extremely well in the second semester. But peradventure that you're unable to have a cumulative GPA after both semesters of your first year and your CGPA is still lower than 1.5, then you'll be advised to withdraw. So for scholarship students, the benchmark we require that you maintain is a 2.5 CGPA. If you have a CGPA below 2.5, then you're going to lose your scholarship for the following semester you're going into. So I hope that addresses the question of scholarships, how to maintain your scholarship.
Yes, it definitely does. So maintaining your scholarship is not just even to you as a scholarship student. Maintaining a good grade is not just to you as a scholarship student, but generally as a Pan Atlantic University student, you have to stay in a good grade if you're going to remain here. And yes, so moving forward with some of the perks of being a part of Pan Atlantic University, this is meant to address information about student advisory services. So, what are those advantages that students get in terms of guidance through school and mentorship and all of that? Could you just give us information about that?
Great, great. So, what makes PAU unique, if you'd ask? I think that's the summary of what you're asking at the moment. So, apart from the fact that we have a very conducive environment for learning, there's power supply 24/7, there's free Wi Fi on campus and within the hostel facilities for students. There's power supply, like I said, throughout. So, there's the environment is conducive. We have a green nature environment where it's easy to learn and adapt to the environment. Then we also practice what we call freedom, but freedom with a sense of responsibility. So, in line with the mission statement of the university, we want to encourage people to think and use their initiative to make decisions. So, if we want to form competent and committed professionals, we don't want people that are yes man, yes as students, right? We want people that can think outside of the box and make decisions in the right way. So there's freedom, but then we try to remind them that your freedom comes with responsibility. So we're not like other universities where you have to get an exit before you leave campus. Students are free to move within and outside of campus, but then there are certain things also put in place to limit the excesses. So whilst they can leave school at any time, they can't come in after 10 p.m., right? So there's lights out, there's information in the hostels, for instance, you can leave, but then when you're leaving campus, you have to stipulate where you're headed to. You have to write down where you're going, and then not that they're going to call your parents to say, they will just send them a text. We hope Oluwa Demilade, for instance, got home safely. So they're not reporting to your parents or asking for permission, right? So yes, there's that freedom to move around. The dress code is the keyword I would say for dress code is decency. So we don't want people wearing torn jeans or sagging or exposing cleavages as well. But then they are free to dress how they want. They can
Right.
use their braids, they can wear earrings, they can paint their nails and hairstyles purple or pink. We're not really bothered about that. What we're looking for a typical PA student is the mental capability. Like, what do you have upstairs? What do you have to prove? How can you fit into this environment? Can you make an impact in this environment and society? So that's another freedom, but then freedom with a sense of responsibility. Then also, by being a virtue of a PAU student or by graduating from PAU, you're going to be a part of one of the most vibrant alumni network of an Atlantic University. So that exposes you to a lot of opportunities. You're going to leverage on professionals that have been experts or industry experts for 5, 10, 15, 20 years that will help you to mentor you, to guide you, to show you the pathways in the line or kind of professional path that you're also going through. Then one of the unique things that makes Pan Atlantic University who we are is the internship opportunities we also provide to our students from the first year. So we have a careers office dedicated to actually helping students prepare for the world of work. So from the initial phase of writing a CV to learning how to handle interviews to actually facilitating and exposing you to different opportunities in the industry. We have a careers office dedicated to supporting our students to leverage the kind of opportunities that will come their way. So typically, we have an annual career fair where we also invite companies to speak to our students. So roughly, we have maybe roughly 50 to 60 companies come on campus, different sectors, FMCGs, telecommunications, energy, engineering companies. So we have a lot of these versatile companies that our students can partner with that they can, some of them get jobs on the spot, some of them get jobs from their NYC. So we expose our final year students and our master students to this career fair. So they're able to leverage on that and then some of them get jobs on the spot. So that's one of the unique things that makes us different as an institution. And we encourage our students to start their internships from their first year. So it's voluntary in the first and second year, it's compulsory in your third year. But then the reality is it's always encouraged that you start from your first year so that before you graduate, you already have about 9 to 12 months work experience, even before you do your NYSC. That already sets you apart from other graduates of universities and exposes you to actually the world of work. By the time you're in your third year, a typical Pan Atlantic University student would have clarity on where they are headed. They already know what they want to use, what they're studying for. Some of them probably already have jobs or they're already working for multinationals on the side, and some of them probably have businesses they're running. But then the idea of the internship is to help you network and then expose you to opportunities that you can then leverage on by the time you graduate. So that's for internship opportunities. Then we also have the entrepreneurship model. So every PAU student, regardless of the course you're studying, must enroll for the 6 units entrepreneurship model. It takes place in their second year. So what they do typically is encourage them to run businesses live on campus. So they are put in groups, and then from the idea, doing a feasibility study or to see if this business idea even makes sense, to teaching them about communication skills, different business models, how to pitch their business ideas on audience. We encourage them to do
Right.
that. Our sister school, the Enterprise Development Center, actually anchors that program. So we're not just building students for the world of work, we're building creative, we're building people that can think outside of the box. We're building potential job employers at the university. So that's something that happens. And then the groups, I think when they pitch their business ideas, some of them can gain as much as 1 million or 500,000 naira to actually
Right.
run this business life on campus. And some of them run this business up until they graduate. And the most entrepreneurial student at the end of the day also even gets an award by the time they are leaving school. So that's also another unique selling point of Pan Atlantic University. Then there are different social clubs, like I said, that I've mentioned that students can join. So we expose them to a well-rounded education. And then we have a very strong Christian identity as well. But we're open to everybody. We're not forcing anybody to be a particular denomination or that. So Muslims are welcome. There's a prayer room for Muslims. There's also a chapel where mass takes place every day for students to participate in. And so yes, and then students can also even leave campus on Sundays to attend other churches if they so please. Then we are also starting the exchange program. So we're going to be exposing Pan Atlantic University students exchange programs from July of this year. So these exchange programs will be in different phases. We're going to start with the cultural exchanges first of all, then we'll move on to student exchanges, that's semester exchanges. There'll be faculty to faculty exchanges, and the focus of these exchange programs will be on Africa for a start. So we're focused on our partner universities in Africa. We have Ashesi Ghana, for instance. We're going to look at other universities in Ghana, in Rwanda, in South Africa, in Kenya as well. So there's a whole lot of work already going in place. My department is actually working on that at the moment, and we're fine tuning and finalizing some of these memorandum of understanding such that we're going to expose our students to these cultural exchanges, semester exchanges that they can benefit from. And we hope that that would expose them to not just the context of Nigeria, but then an African context of how things are done, and then they can network and build relationships that will serve them for the future. So I think if for the lack of yeah, I think I've touched on most of the ones I can remember now. If Demilade, if you remember anyone, you can chip in for me. So but I think that's some
Okay.
things that makes us unique. Thank you.
Right. Okay. So I definitely remember a couple. I think he's mentioned a lot, but of course it's not everything because this is PAU. There's a lot in store for you. Um,
Mhm.
did he mention? Did you mention anything about the mentoring session and mentors, like how students have mentors guiding them through the
Oh
year?
yes, oh yes.
So
Great,
yes,
great,
she had
great. So
mentors. You're assigned to a mentor. So, for instance, I was with my mentor yesterday, and I mean, we're just talking about results and moving forward, strong as ever. Um, what else? There are PDS sessions, so personal development sessions. That happened earlier this week, I think on Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. So PDS sessions are personal development sessions, basically how to you know just stay relevant professionally, personally, just because PU is dedicated to building students who are oral leaders, professional leaders. So that's that. The other things, there's guidance and counseling. I think one of
let
my
me let
favorite
me,
highlights,
let me okay, go ahead. Finish.
my favorite highlights, I think last semester was actually okay, maybe not my favorite, but one of my highlights is the mental health week. This was the inaugural version, so like the very first version of the mental health week, and it was really really nice. We didn't even just have students from we had students from Panatlantic University, but then again we also had mental health practitioners that I think clinical psychologists come from Rwanda, talked to us. We kind of just saw how things were outside our own bubble. So it was really cool. I really liked it. I really liked it. Shout out to the PAU Student Council for that as well.
Great. Thank you very much for helping me out there, Oluwademilade. So yes, for the mentoring program, every student is actually assigned a mentor. So we understand that the transition from secondary school to university can be a challenge for these young adults. So most people coming into the university are 16, 17. So we know that it can be a challenge to manage the freedom, the peer pressure can be there, exposure to a lot of things, right? So every student is assigned a mentor to help and hold you to ensuring that you're able to adapt and acclimatize to the university environment. Because nobody wakes you up to go to class. Nobody tells you you need to do certain things. We encourage you to think outside of the box and make responsible choices. And we know that if you're doing that, then you're going to be better off for it. So, and yes, she touched on the psychosocial support we have. So, we have guidance and counseling at the university. We have two guidance and counseling officers at the moment. So, we also know that actually Gen Zs nowadays, there's a lot of mental health challenges, a lot of issues they say they are facing. I don't know about some of the challenges they say they face nowadays. But then, yes, we have clinical support to help you to that freedom to express yourself, to help you grow and then resolve any personal, family, or issues that you might be facing, or academic issues that you might be facing on campus. So yes, those two things are there to also help. Yes, and she mentioned on the PDS sessions as well. So we actually bring industry professionals to come and interact with our students to help them, to motivate them, to help them understand what the requirements of the world of work is, to help them prepare and then say, okay, this is how to navigate the pathway you're currently on and prepare for as best as possible for the future. Yeah, and then yes, students are also for so there's the work study program as well, where students can actually work with different units of the university and earn some stipend, right? So most a number of our scholarship students often enroll for this. The PAU scholarship students they go for this. Even other students also go for this. So you can work in different units of the university and earn a stipend. I think they're allowed to work about 8 hours per week. So and then I think they pay them about 700 naira per hour. So
No,
by
it
the end
has
of the
increased. We
it has
have more
increased.
now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we
Yes, it
earn
has
about a
increased.
thousand naira now.
And then
Imagine.
maximum hours you can work for is 80 hours. So you can't exceed 80 hours just
Can
because I
exceed.
think the school is also committed to making sure that there's a fair balance
Great.
with work and study.
Beautiful, beautiful. So yes, that helps students to at least manage their resources and get them some extra funds to be able to manage coupled with what their parents are already providing for them. So I believe I have touched on most of the perks and unique selling points of the Pan Atlantic University. I'm sure
Right.
my other
You
colleagues in the
have.
comments are adding one or two things as well. So over to you, Demilade.
Okay, you have touched on it, but just to tell you that there are two things you didn't mention that I'll be mentioning, maybe because I'm a student, so I have to feel a bit more. There's such a thing as peer advisors. So you have like students who basically they are either hall reps or welfare assistants in the hall, so you can actually meet them for help, especially as a new student, and kind of guide you through. And we have things like breakfast with the girls, breakfast with the boys, once every semester, I think, or once every academic year. But last semester's one was really nice. I cannot leave that out because I was actually helped by a resident assistant to register because I didn't know that we are meant to register. So these are things that you can look up for as an intending student. When you get here, you have resident assistants to help you through. And then for academics and other parts of your social life, you also have first year interaction group. So, for instance, I'm a fig tutor, and one of the most exciting things about being a fig tutor is you kind of just walk people through their university journeys while also sharing your wins and your lessons too. So look up for these things. Don't be like people who don't like to enjoy the advantages of being part of an intentional school like Pan Atlantic University. So yes, be everything, but don't be an island, right? So yeah, thank you very much. I think we've answered most of the questions. Now, this is the part where I call you to please connect with us on all socials or all the socials we are connected to. So there's Instagram, there's LinkedIn, there's Facebook. If you're just looking at this, if you're just watching this live or you're watching a replay of this without following or at least subscribing, I think you should definitely hit the subscribe button and also turn on your notifications. You want to know how results are going to go in terms of like when we're going to admit students and all of that. So, and just updates on it. So, this person is asking about results over 300 plus and 5A1s in YA. Could you get a scholarship merit based? Could you get a merit based scholarship? You mean? So, can you get a merit based scholarship with a 300 plus in JAM and 5A1s in YA?
Like I've touched on a number of times, the PAU scholarship is a need-based scholarship. But then with that result, beautiful result, I would say 300 plus in JAM, 5A1s in WAEC is what we're looking out for. So we're not just even giving out need-based scholarships for the sake of it. So people that are giving these scholarships are actually very intelligent people. So most of the PAU scholarship students actually have JAM scores ranging 280 and above. So it's a combination of the fact that you need this scholarship, you can afford the tuition, and also because you have a good academic standing. So yes, we will not give you a scholarship based on merit, but based on the need for it. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. So, just clarity, please. It's needs and merit based. So, needs based, yes, but the merit also has to follow the needs. But if it's just by merit, you're going to have to just hope that you get into Manifest University in some way. I'm rooting for
Let me
you.
also
Uh,
talk. Sorry, Demilade, sorry to interrupt.
okay.
For the scholarships, while we have the scholarships, we also have discounts for siblings. So, for instance, if two or three siblings are in the university at the same time, we have certain discounts such that the first person pays the full tuition, the second person gets a 10% discount, the third person gets a 50% discount, and if there are four of you in the school at the same time, the fourth person will get a 98% discount. And we currently have about 20 families enjoying this at the university. So if you have siblings of similar age range, we encourage you to come to the university so that you can enjoy this siblings discount that we have at the university.
Beautiful. Me, I wish I had such privileges. But I don't have siblings in PAU, so hopefully you can enjoy these privileges as well. That brings us to the end of this admissions live Q&A with admissions. So thank you so much for being part of this. I wish I could take all your questions. I did for as long as I could, but we have a limited time slot. But most definitely, if you have any questions, as we've already said, you can reach out to the admissions office. That's admissions at pau.edu.ng via mail. You could also go to the website to see how some of your questions may already be answered by some of the information that you may find on the website. And then finally, you can stay in touch with us, with the school, through their social media handles, right? Yes, you can stay in touch with the school through Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, right? TikTok as well. So, yes, final comments from you, Mr. David. Thank you so much for being a part of this and answering the questions that were placed before us. Would like to hear your final word.
Yes, I would say a very big thank you for to you rather, for hosting this. And yes, thank you to our audience for being a part of this conversation. We are very, very happy that a lot of people turned out to listen to us about the requirements. And we hope that our prospective students would ace their O-level exams coming up and then prepare very hard enough to be able to be a part of this institution. We look forward to welcoming as much as possible very brilliant, professional, and good moral standing students in the next academic session. I would say, in final notes, I would say please, please, and please ensure that every information you're getting is directly from the PAU website or you're interacting directly with us at the admissions and recruitment office. And then I will also encourage you to come and visit the campus as much as possible. Come and see the facilities for yourself. Come and see the hostels. And as well as possible for prospective applicants, ensure that you apply very, very early. So immediately your JAM result is out, please go on the portal apply.pau.edu.ng to start your application process. You don't need your WAEC results to complete the application process. All you need is your birth certificate, your NIN, and the results notification of your JAM results. Once you have those three things, you'll be able to complete your application while your O-level result is awaiting. So please apply early so that you can stand a good chance of getting in as early as possible. Thank you very much and have a lovely, lovely, lovely rest of the weekend.
Okay. We have one last question. Even though we just said thank you very much for watching, you're still asking us questions. I think this is pretty important. When is the application expiring? I guess this means when does the application end? When should you stop applying?
Right. So typically, applications are within a span of 2 to 3 months. So, but then as soon as we fill up our class sizes, we stop applications for different programs. So the earlier we fill up the class sizes, the sooner we would end the application process for this year. So that's why I'm encouraging everybody to apply very early. So you shouldn't be asking about when the application will be expiring, but when it will open so that you can apply very early. So the important thing is to apply immediately so you can be considered very early for an admission. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. We've officially come to the end of this live session. I am Oluwademilade, and this was such a memorable experience. I think that this is going to be one for the books, especially when you have a lot of questions that you had answered today. So thank you, and we hope to see you as a student and as a parent in the next matriculation ceremony in Pan Atlantic University. Thank you, and have a good day.